So please give a round of applause for Brenda.
Hard to be the opener. Okay. My name is Brenda Steele. I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder over 20 years ago. At the age of 15, a doctor who I'm sure thought was doing me a favor told me that since I had a family history of severe mental illness, my father being both bipolar and schizophrenic, and having killed himself when I was 12, that likely I would need to be medicated for the rest of my life, and at best I could hope for base functionality. If I was lucky, I wouldn't develop schizophrenia like my father. And so the shame began. 12 years later, at the age of 27, tired after years of ineffective psychiatric pharmaceutical treatment, recreational drug abuse, and self-medication, I was tired of hiding, tired of the enormous self-hatred that I felt. I made what I believed was a very calm and rational choice to take my own life. I was hopeless, I was tired of fighting, and I was tired of the shame. I was tired of the tremors that caused my hands to shake like an elderly woman, tired of the state of constant confusion my 7 prescribed medications caused inside my fragile head. Without any real relief from my searing depression that could sometimes last up to 16 months, suicidal ideation clouding a very large portion of that time, I was done. The truth is, I didn't want to get better anymore, because behind better was just another fall into darkness. My skin felt thin and weathered and 1,000 years old. I was tired of feeling an overwhelming feeling of grief that came with the knowledge that yet another cycle was coming on, and there really was nothing I could do to prevent that darkness. I could feel it encroaching, and I felt alone. I felt like there is no one that could understand. And it's difficult when you're experiencing depression to describe it to people, but I'm going to do my best here to give you a visual representation. Envision being on a beach. Close your eyes if you can. It's beautiful outside. You hear the seagulls squawking. In the distance, children laugh. They're playing in the sand. You're happy. You feel the warmth of the sand on your toes. You wiggle them in the ground. You can feel the lapping of the water. But before you know it, something has shifted in the weather. The birds are flying inland. The people on the beach have all disappeared. The water is slowly leaching away from you out to sea. Something has changed. A shift in the energy all around. You feel it. You want to run to higher ground. You feel it. You look down and you see that your feet are caught in the sand. You can't move. You tug and you pull and you fight and you start screaming for help, but everyone is gone and you are utterly alone. In the distance, far off, you see it coming towards you, and it's a wall of water, and you can see it out there coming. The fear wells up inside you as it edges closer. You bear down. You can feel its energy sucking the oxygen out of the space around you. And the light of the sun is blocked in the sky. Now you surrender. And it comes, and it slams into your body, and you have zero control. You can't see anything. You're lost in the darkness. Up and down, they're the same. There's no air here. There's no light here, and you pray for surface just to see a little glimmer of light, but there's nothing. You're tossed, you're turned, you are bloody, you're broken, and you think to yourself, I think this is it. This is the end. And in a little way, it's kind of a relief. This is not an exaggeration. Exhausting does not begin to describe what it feels like. So after cycling down for the 10th time with no real relief from my illness, a slew of severely debilitating side effects from my medication, I made peace with myself. I could hope for nothing more than this. It was as good as it was going to get, and I was just tired and really done. I chased a bottle of Ambien with as many Tylenol PM as I could get my hands on and shove in my mouth. I guzzled a bottle of red wine, and I said goodbye to the world like that. I thought it was the end, and to be honest with you, I thought I was ready. What I realize now is that I'm lucky enough to say that that was my beginning. Yes, I was physically born May 12th, 1979, but I was spiritually reborn out of this horrible experience. My life started in a very real way in that moment. By some miracle of chemical coincidence, my stomach refused to tolerate these drugs. I was found in time, I was rushed to the hospital, and I won't lie to you, it has not been an easy road out. It took me a full 10 years after my suicide attempt to release myself from the shame and the stigma of my illness. That stigma was buried so deep in my psyche. It still is. It was so deep I didn't even comprehend it. Was it weird that I hid my bouts of depression from family members, from friends, from employers? For 6-month periods, I would disappear off the map for an extended trip. I was smart, but I couldn't quite hold down a long-term job like everyone else. I made up stories to hide the truth. The lies were part of the fabric of who I have always known myself to be, and I didn't really see it as shame. The stigma was invisible and, worst of all, self-imposed as much as by society at large. I never understood why it took me so long to come clean with myself, to find a path to becoming a mental health advocate, to work with other people who share the same pain that I do. But I understand it now. I wasn't ready. I needed to lie to myself. I needed to lie to others. I needed to see what real stigma looks like out there. With every horrible, beautiful experience, I would never have the compassion and empathy that I carry with me now, truly as my sword and shield of badass strength. It is empathy and compassion that empower me to help others dealing with the same sense of loneliness and isolation that I carried with me for so many years. 20 years is a very long time to live in denial. But those years are my greatest asset now. My gift to myself and to others. I am a survivor. I survived a doctor's diagnosis at age 15 that told me I would likely be medicated for the rest of my life. I would probably continue to deteriorate over time, and if I was lucky, I wouldn't develop schizophrenia severely like my father. At age 15, a doctor told me this. I hated him for a long time, but now I'm grateful to say that I proved his ass wrong. Dead wrong. I survived pharmaceutical addiction, self-hatred, self-loathing, social ostracization, and shame. I survived for 2 weeks at San Francisco General Hospital psych ward. God damn it, I can do anything. Today, I self-disclosed my condition on this stage publicly for the first time. I'm scared, but I'll be brave. Whenever questioned what I do for work and why I do it, I will speak the truth. I recently became a certified peer support worker, and I have made it my life's mission now to help people battling for mental wellness and fighting the demons of suicidal ideation. I speak my truth. I survived suicide. I think about death and I think about dying sometimes. And that's part of my reality, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Sometimes that makes people feel strange to be so open with the most taboo subject known to man, our own mortality. But a moment's discomfort on my part is nothing compared to the chance that I have to reach out to a lonely, isolated soul who feels that there is no one that they can discuss such darkness with. I am ready now. I get it, why it took so long, I really do. I'm ready for the road ahead, and I so look forward to proudly being a part of a new vision for the mental health community in this country and the greater world at large. Shame, you come here no more. I think the timing is right now in our society. We are all ready to get real and to stop hiding. And we all know that timing is everything.